Hulahan's
Hey,
Monday. What's
man,
up, Johnny?
Danny, this is just flying by, dude. So officially winter, right? November is the
Yep.
first month of winter.
Daylight
Yeah,
savings happened over the weekend. We're trying to all
man,
confused about what time things are.
dude, I got up at
Keeping
four
track of the
o'clock for
mainland clients.
yeah, 4 o'clock this morning for the 5 o'clock little seminar thingy that we're on because of that fall
Yeah,
back nonsense, man.
yeah. So we're on this training seminar about marketing and advertising and all kinds of interesting stuff for people in general, businesses in general,
Yep.
uh, which we're learning a lot. And yeah, so thought it was 4 a.m. for you, thought it was 10 p.m. for me. It turns out to be 11 p.m. for me, 5 a.m. for you. But man, sometimes time zones are tough. And when people come to Maui, I think they feel that when they're coming from the East Coast, when they're coming from West Coast, they're just trying to get used to all these time zones and talking to people back home and grandkids calls and all this sorts of stuff, right?
You know, my head does a weird thing with alarms, right? So I set the alarm for 4, even though the thing started at 4, because I know like my head's going to kind of get me up a little bit early. And so literally I'd gotten up like maybe an hour before. An old man used the bathroom, came back, and I was kind of up and I said like this little prayer. I was like, hey, Lord, could you just wake me up without the alarm so it doesn't wake the wife up? And then I was impressed to look at the phone and it's 3:54. Weird coinky
Boom.
dinks, man.
There it is. There it
Yeah.
is. So
So,
what's the word on the
dude,
street today, Johnny?
yeah, we were just kind of chatting about that, right? So Bill Nine still up in the air. I mean, I did not have Tasha Kama passing away on my bingo card,
Nope.
right? And why is that important? Well, she was the kind of deciding vote. We had 5 conservative members of the council and 4 what they consider progressives, right? And now we just have this even keel. And so what happens is now we need to find her replacement, and she represented Kahului. My understanding, she left a recommendation, but nobody knows if that's going to come through. And if they can't find it, well, then the mayor makes the deciding vote, and we already know which direction the mayor's heading towards, right? And
Yep.
yet we still do not have a defining direction of what is going to happen in the condo market on Maui. We have surpassed the deadline, the line in the sand that Bisson himself had created when he first came out and said that. So there's a politician saying stuff and then it doesn't follow through, right? But you got to have a goal, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And so now we have this further episode of we have a group. Tashikamo's part of that. They go in and they actually do the due diligence. What will happen here in the economy, taxes, businesses, etc. They create this exhibit 2, basically telling the mayor, hey, great idea, but too much that you want to get rid of. And now that she's passed away, we have to now wait more time to get her replacement. And then we can finally start doing the readings based off of what that looks like. And meanwhile, Danny, this market is still stuck and frankly rotting because
Basically.
yeah,
Starting to
dude,
smell, I think.
it is, man. The vast majority of sellers are still up here and they're all keeping their price here based off of some version of hope, right? The hotel owners are like, well, I'm the one that's the safe bet, so I'm worth more. And then
Hmm.
the Minatoya ones are like, well, it's not going to happen. And look, Exhibit 2 is happening. So I'm going to stay here as well because I don't really know and I don't want to cut my price because I still want my money. And the blatant truth of it, Danny, is it just shows that our vast majorities of our owners here can float through this chaos. It's
Which we've said
uncomfortable.
multiple times.
That's it. And that's what keeps it buoyed up is because they can float. It's not uncomfortable enough.
Yep.
But these elongated markets tend to lead to prices going down. It is a
Which we're seeing a lot of.
self-fulfillment. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Kiheakahi to me is one of the greatest examples in terms of like hotel zone, where at the start of this year, we were averaging 740. Didn't matter view
For one
really or
bedroom.
anything.
Yeah.
1 bedroom in the 700s, right? And now we're seeing that come down. And to me, that's an example of what's happening right now. And it's frustrating for a lot of buyers because they're hearing that, oh, the condo market's in disarray on Maui, and it's the truth, but
Yeah.
they expect to get a deal from everybody. And we can tell them from experience that's not the case. Sellers
No.
show you their motivation by behavior. And
Yes.
behavior is a reduction of prices to find where the market is, because quite frankly, nobody knows.
Yep.
So
Nobody has
that's
any
my,
idea.
they don't.
So it's a lot of
Again, I,
indecision, and then prices are also coming down because now rentals are becoming less filled and less people visiting and less numbers. And so the justification of trying to pay for the toy or at least cover some of the cost is declining as well. So now kind of this bill of goods that people have been sold that, hey, this thing's gonna pay for itself, you're gonna have an awesome condo free and clear. Like that's just not happening anymore. And
well, it's
so
saturated,
people
right?
are a bit less excited to jump in. So a lot of indecision.
I kind of
And
feel like the whole Airbnb model reached a certain kind of critical point of, like, now we're dealing with the other side. Is we reached peak hype of Airbnb, and now you're seeing it worldwide, right? I always think of Spain hitting tourists with water guns
pew
because it's just
pew
too many
pew.
tourists there and they can't stand Airbnb. And
Yeah,
because,
but who brought them all there?
right,
Themselves,
that's right.
because
So
they wanted a
yeah,
buck.
well, it's just like us here in Maui, right? It's like that's
Yeah,
our only industry, so we want to attract you, but then when we don't want to attract you, we want you to leave, but leave your money. And
money's good. The money's, I mean, you see it everywhere. Everywhere I've traveled, I've been to a lot of places. Like there's just this boom of construction because everybody wants in on the guest house experience. And the people that are
Bali,
staying now is what
yeah,
it was originally intended, which is a service-based business, not just a lockbox come and go. Like people really want that tangible care and experience, right? I mean, like we're in the
they want
Dolomites
an
in
in
northern
experience.
Italy, and you're staying in
Yeah,
a farm, and they're bringing you fresh milk, and they're like showing you around their farm, and you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. You built four little units on this farm, and you get to hear the cows, and like you're in this cool spot. I think people
you
are
know,
kind of returning back to that vibe of wanting like a true experience in their Airbnbs
th-
and rentals. So
this may be polarizing for some, but I am grateful on Maui that we have this law where, in terms of being able to vacation rent your home, unless it's in a hotel district zoning, you have to own it for 5 years before you could even submit for a permit, and then chances of you getting it are slim. Because here's my thoughts on it. And I've heard people say, well, John, that's my house. I get to do what I want in my home. And that's true. But the
yep,
neighborhood is ours, the
yes,
community is ours. And what you bring into the community affects all of us. So that's where your argument needs to stop, right? If you could keep it confined to your house and all the noise and all the hoopla and the parking and the BS, I'll tell you what, man, some people show up entitled. They don't care. They're
yep.
going to rage. They're going to party because they're out of here. They're not going to see you again. That's the mentality, you know? So, anyway, just my
But I
thoughts
gotta
there.
say, there is a lot of concern about raging parties on Airbnbs and all of this.
Oh,
Having lived
yes.
next to Airbnbs for several years when we lived in Ma'alaya, like I
Yeah.
gotta say, maybe once in 3 years were people like super obnoxious and noisy. So
I think that's Malaya demographics.
perhaps, perhaps, but I think it's in general, it's not Florida where everyone's a raging, raging party in
Truth.
spring break. That's a little bit
Yeah.
different vibe. So I think we get a bit less, but
Agreed.
there's still some of it, of course, because people are on
Yeah.
vacation and they want to do what they want to do, and they feel like, hey, we paid a lot of money, so we can make noise and we can park where we want, right?
I guess we locals haven't caught on to just go renting a house somewhere here on the island and just throwing a rager yet, right? Because I'm starting to see like Airbnb, like Halloween, they were really putting the kibosh on that because that's becoming a thing, man.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. So all kinds of interesting things, lots of thoughts. We might have some more polarizing thoughts and comments along the way, but
I'm going to stick to my theory, Danny. I feel that, comfort lies in reversion to the mean back to pre COVID pricing. I think if we get there, it's a great, great beginning for us again. And then we need to re educate ourselves on what days on market look like on Maui and why people are buying, because I think a lot of times when you had that Airbnb model, especially during COVID, dude, I mean, we're dealing right now with clients where, now those prices have come down below what they paid for, and it's painful, man. So I think some people jumped in because it was FOMO and the fact that it was going to pay for itself, and we were coming out of COVID and the rates went up and the amount of people coming because they could go out exploded, and then now we're in the hangover.
And that's why an investment is always a bit of a risky play.
And
And probably
that's
why
why,
you shouldn't purely buy Maui for investment purposes.
yeah, dude, let's talk about that. Because, I mean, if you're going to be a real estate investor, you should only be looking for high growth areas. And I don't know if that's Arizona anymore, because when I
Yeah,
lived there, Arizona
I
was
think
a
it is.
prime example
I think it still
of
is for
growth.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, because they still have industry pouring in their tech. I
Well, you
mean,
got that
it's,
big chip production facility up there, and was like Noterra up north that's coming
well,
in.
dude. And then, I mean, Gates literally owns like enough to build one of these smart cities just outside of like Buckeye and stuff. Monument or something. I remember talking about it. So you're right. I mean, there should be some opportunity there. I don't know any other states right now that are just, super growth oriented, but you want to look for the ones
Texas.
probably that AI is. Yeah, there you go. Texas. Anywhere that's an AI kind of, and I think AI is going to be looking for rural areas, unfortunately, because the amount of power that it's going to need. Because, like, for example, my in-laws, they sit on some dirt in Buckeye, and Buckeye is one of the biggest booming cities in Arizona. But at some point, the outlying areas, they're saying they're being bought up by tech areas because that's going to be AI energy infrastructure, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah,
case in point on this, we had a client reach out who was very interested in investment opportunities on Maui. We walked them through all the different options. We said up
yeah,
front, it's probably not the best place if you're just looking at numbers.
yep,
They were trying to go out of California, divest in California, and go somewhere else. Maui didn't make sense at all. So we introduced them to one of our friends in the Phoenix area, and yeah, they just closed on their second investment property in the Phoenix area. So super stoked. They're divested from California. They got new hope in Arizona. They made a friend along the way. So case in point, Maui doesn't make sense
yeah.
for that
There's
purpose.
investment opportunities over here. I just don't know necessarily if they are the Airbnb model anymore. Um, I feel that it's, the equity is always going to be a thing here on Maui just because we won't make more of Maui. And that's always going to be the investment side of things. And I see that where people literally invest 2, 3 years, you make a few hundred grand.
Well, the
But
investment, maybe the best investment is when the new construction comes, as we often say, is new project comes, get yourself on the list, buy it, flip it in 2 to 3 years, a year, something like that. That seems to work really well.
Well, let's talk about that in terms of risk. Why does it make that such a great investment? Well, because I'm going to plunk down a little bit of money to get this thing started. That's my deposit. It's going to take them 2 to 3 years to build. And that time, I hope my equity builds a la Lailoa and all these other condos that we show them in Wailea,
Yeah.
right? And during that time, and so what's my benefit? Well, if it gets too scary and I don't see the pop, I mean, I can walk away from my investment and call that a loss, right? My deposit. You go ahead. So I concur, Danny. Yep.
And
And we
we've
just don't
shown
like to
all the
build
proof.
here.
Yeah, the building takes
We
so
don't like
long
to build here.
and there's
17 years.
so little of it. So,
Yep.
and in most likely whatever they're building, there's nothing quite like it, right? Like when Kamalani came, it was like brand new 3 bedrooms with fiber optic internet. It was like gas appliances. This doesn't exist anywhere else. So now it's unique.
So Hoku'ula gang, Hali'i Maili, and they're almost sold out. That's the opportunity. We've gone through all the workforce housing stipulations. Real investors can come in and buy. It's a great location with great views. I'm like, oh my God, it's 1.6 to start. Is it ever going to go up in value? And then I'm like, dummy, you live on Maui. That $900,000 2 bedroom, 2 bath Laniopoko Ohana estate that you couldn't make sense of, well, you've sold them now for $4 million.
So in our own minds, sometimes it doesn't make sense. And then we
Don't
see what
spend the
happens.
money in your own investment.
All right, well, let's
Let's
show them what's
jump in.
going on.
Let's do it.
We'll give them a little taste. Not a lot going on. We're early in the day here on Monday, so
Yep. So, Exhibit 2, let's just make the statement. For some reason, none of Moloka'i's apartments owned would be affected.
interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
The island
And
that
this,
doesn't seem too excited about tourism is okay leaving it as tourism.
I want to say it's because they just don't have a ton of like opportunities, man. You need every single one you can on that island there, you know?
They do.
Kinanikai, this used to be, you know, right there by the Sheraton back in the day. What a
How about the
price,
price
dude.
drop on this?
Bruh, almost half already in a year, guys. 954 pays for the fees. You want a Fortress of Solitude lifestyle, this is it. But believe it or not, when you look on a map, it's still only going to take you about 25 minutes to get into town. And you may not see another car on the road.
Well, the guy's nice.
Bruh,
I haven't
that
heard many
beach.
people actually travel over there or
That's
like
right.
make it a destination, which is interesting. So I'm like, who actually goes here? And in terms of rental numbers, I mean, we've heard from some of our contacts on island that,
20, 30 grand maybe
yeah, maybe in
in
good
the in
year.
the in the heights. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much a couple of months out of the year, you might get a few renters, and the rest of the year is going to be empty.
La Ia Drive. We've seen this guy here, man. Now we're down to 1,115. It is CPR, right? Is that what it was?
I thought it was
Yeah.
Unit A, yeah.
So 4 bedroom, 2 bath. I mean, it's really interesting that you start out with a half acre, but for the main house, you're getting, or maybe there were two main houses. I don't know, but kind of weird that you get
Chopped it into,
0.17 for unit A there. But yeah,
yeah,
for some reason, this guy here in Makawao just will not move. Because there's one of the main houses in the back there, right?
yeah, that must be the main house.
Main, even though they're calling this one Unit A.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hmm. Well, there you go, guys. That's on sale and nobody wants it.
million one, 1,400 square feet. Not a lot, but hey, let's justify it and throw 10K at you if you give us a good offer.
There you go. They'll overpay your realtor, I'm sure, just
Yep.
so he can convince you of the same. Oh, Market Street. Man, a lot of this stuff's coming kind of the market here. Wow. They were really, really aspirational with this guy here. I mean, is it an apartment or what are we looking at? And
This
why
one
now
is
a million five four
commercial.
nine? Ah,
Commercial.
so the old
It was
zoning
also
that
a
nobody
commercial
cares.
listing too, yeah.
Okay, there we
B2
go.
commercial, mixed
B2.
use, bed and breakfast,
Operating as a
hotel.
short-term rental. Oh, is this the one from Liz? Same. No, different one. But another similar opportunity in there. Nobody talks about this, guys. And I don't know why you would want a short-term vacation rent in Central Maui, but that's where there are different travelers. That's where the hostels are.
Hmm.
So, you know, that's kind of what you would attract. You're not going to be attracting your typical plunk it down on the beach with my Bahama chairs and, you know, eat Maui Gold pineapples. This is going to be a more
These are your influencer
crunchy
type people.
influencer. I'm into the community. You know what I mean? I want to be with the locals, right? Like when I go vacation, I want to vacation and see what it's really like. But yeah, Keith must own this one because he had to give it a shot at
Yeah.
3.45 110 days
It's
ago.
got all kinds of interesting things going on.
It does for the right person. That's a live and work opportunity.
Office space. I mean, that 1.5 is looking a little bit more attractive than
And then an additional 6 bedroom, 6 bath,
so there's
1,876. So on a
two
square footage,
buildings.
yeah, on a square footage basis, man.
So it's guess you got this commercial frontage
Hit the
and then you
map. Hit the
have
map
the
for
house
me.
next door.
Are we headed down to Kai Takamiya's from here, Happy Valley?
Looks like it.
It is. So it's just past Takamiya's. Come zoom in. Yeah, there it is. It literally is across the street from Takamiya's there. Bro, that's the only reason to buy right there, guys.
That
Best
would be
Kalbi,
dangerous
best
for you.
marinated teriyaki, best mac salad, best blueberry trees, cream cheese. I
So you
can't
have
get out of
10,
that store.
basically 10 bedrooms and 4,000 square feet.
That is an apartment that's being used as an apartment, basically, or it could be. I mean, there's opportunity there, man. So in terms of investment, this is what a Maui investment would really look like here.
And it would take someone savvy to kind of figure out how to make it work and what to do with it. I think a lot
That's
of
right.
people,
A
I think
creative.
a lot of investors, well, nowadays, the modern investor, the TikTok investor, the Instagram investor just kind of wants to jump into something and make it all, it just works. Right, but
Right.
most investments when they're really successful is it's got a lot of sweat equity in it. It has someone creative leading the charge, someone who knows how to kind of dabble in this space, a la, one of our clients at Kapalua Golf Villas who kind of runs her own rentals. I mean, she's made it work because she is the backbone, right? Or a client at Royal Maui, and she's the backbone of the operation. That's why it works so
Right.
well. But
She creates an
other
experience.
people try it and it just flops because they really don't have the vision or they don't know how to run it or they're not sure how to manage it. So I think investment is beyond just throwing money at something. You really have
So
to.
quick pause. The fact that this thing can be short-term vacation rental, we've talked about the tax strategy, right? Most real estate investments are looked at as a passive investment because you just collect some rent. But if you made this into a short-term vacation rental, the IRS would look at this as a business because people would stay for 7 days or less. And that changes how you could depreciate this property. Hit us up if you want the information. We can send it over to you. Sharon Savasta, who was our real CEO or president, he's the one that busted it out. But you can literally get 50, 60, 70% of your money back if you're a high income earner off your taxes with that strategy. Kamani, here we go. Right again, Danny. They just come out every single time with the same
Blazing.
pricing strategy. But I got to give it to them. It's a beautiful unit.
Second picture, all about the closet.
That's it. And then we kept the tile in the kitchen, but we
Funky
updated
floors.
everything else. There is the DIY. Okay, so we got some. See, like, why
Whiter
would
than
you leave that
white can
kitchen
be.
tile in there? Why would you
Yeah,
leave that kitchen tile in there like that? That
no
just
idea.
shows where you went cheap on the remodel. But man,
And
you,
the
you spent it
backsplash
on
in
the.
there.
You got the chandelier in the primary, and you killed it on the closet there. Ah, it's a cute unit.
Cute
34
unit.
days in, they're not getting any calls. So here we go. Here we go. Oh, direct ocean front. I remember back in the day where we would tout this as a deal, Danny, because it is a direct ocean front, 1 bedroom, a 2 bedroom, 1.2 milli. It's got the AC. Check. It
Yep.
is on the exhibit 2 because there is a shaving of hotel zoning in Papakea. Um, Dealing with some assessments from redoing piping, but I don't know. I think at 9.99, I start talking about this as a deal because of the risks still involved.
You got 4 months in early next year that it's undergoing plumbing projects, so that's a big
We got
hit
to factor that in there.
to your potential income.
Yep.
Eh,
I'm going to say it. I don't like the old school rattan Hawaii vibes on furniture. There it is. I did it.
not
I said it.
not yeah, it's kind of
It's
dead, I
tired.
think.
It's Aston. It's Aston, dude.
But we're still trying to appeal to the old Hawaiiana vibes that people think about when they come to Maui or Hawaii. And
Truth.
it's kind of lackluster, I think.
So Viet K coming back down to earth, but not rapidly. So this is a decent starting price, in my opinion, for a 2 bedroom, 2 bath there. It's luxury living up there, guys. No amenities, no pool or anything, but it's gated. You got a garage, construction's nice, and we're fans of Kealani.
Interesting listing strategy, Johnny.
Yep, no
Don't put the
maintenance fee.
maintenance fees and then
Yep.
limited access listing. This is an Oahu agent that just posts it on the MLS and you're supposed to contact the trust directly.
There you have it, guys. This is what happens when other agents come over from other islands. Menehune Shores. Looks like we are in bottom unit or no, third floor.
Third floor,
Third
kind of over
floor.
the parking lot.
Yep. Again, so we're coming back down to earth on these prices, but that's just because I'm still adjusting to a couple of crazy markets. Manic markets, can we call them? Fire was a manic market. COVID was a manic market as well.
Everything elevated without any substance.
Yep.
Mm.
So here's what it would cost you to rent a home these days in Central Maui on the golf course. 6 grand. I saw our gal Sarah. She listed one that was like a 4 bedroom up in Makawao last night. 6 grand.
6 grand for a house. That's pretty much. But if you're buying this thing, your mortgage is probably more than 6 grand, yeah.
That's the rub, right? So that's why they probably have to rent it out for $6,000. So here we go. Here's your. So this will be interesting, right? Fractional still selling. Just won't be able to vacation rent them, I guess, will be the big change there. So what'd they buy? Well, they're picking up the first week of May, so a shoulder season month. And then you pay $2,800 annually, and that supposedly takes care of all the fees and taxes, etc. And that's the scoop there. There were agents that went out and bought these and made them into fractionals, guys. That's why these exist. Whaler, Monty Fitz is a great example there, and a great strategy at the time. Sullivan's did it at Sansa Kahana. Here we go, man. Kahului. So Kahului's pricing well comparatively. They're starting to come down to earth, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, a little bit better. I'm going to say this one went for 950 ish, somewhere in there would be my guess, unless it was FHA and they got some help. But I mean, yeah, floors set it off.
Still $1 million.
That's it, man. And then you have the other side that buys. There's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath, Peahi Hui, brand new construction.
Man, they killed the pictures on this.
That's awesome. A barn dominium, dude. I bet that was a kit, pressed timber, because I was looking into them, man. That's a barn dominium, basically.
Looks like it.
It sure do.
It's got a real nice vibe.
That's it, man. Nowhere near the ocean. It's on an acre. $3 million.
Yeah, you're beyond the road, right? Because here's the highway.
That's right.
So you're beyond.
And that's why 47 days in, second home, trust funder, they all seem to love out there and put you a haiku area.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Ekolu. Ekahi. Ekolu. Number 2. So there was a better value with a view there as well, I remember. Maybe it was this particular one, but 243 days in. These guys are in. So there you have it. Bit of a reduction. Kono. That was one of our gods. Or is it Lono? So this one was rough, but rough sells. Brought 732 all off market. They got a bit of a loan on it. They're gonna go ahead and rehab this guy. Hopefully they're gonna add another bathroom and some square footage, but who knows?
So you're $1 million for the 3-2 earlier on smaller square footage, but kind of fixed up. So now you're 732 with 600 square feet and a lot of work to be done.
But obviously a unique buyer because it's sold off market. So the deal was made without any marketing, what have you. So definitely a desire there at some point. That's probably what it is.
That's a family buy for sure.
It fully is.
Passing from one to the next. So covered a lot of things today, Johnny. You talked a lot about investments, investment strategy. Maui is not really prime for true investors. But Maui is what you make of it, and what you're going to get out of Maui is something even more beautiful and long-lasting, probably, than just money.
I resemble that remark, dude. It's expensive to live here, and I will pay it. I will gladly pay it. I feel like I'm so far removed, bro, from the nonsense of the world.
Oh, yes. I mean, I don't know how it is now. I haven't spent a lot of time there recently, but man, one of my favorite things when I was full-time on Maui was just the quietness. You don't get all the political riffraff, all the conversations. Nobody cares about what's going on in New York or LA. Like, you're just enjoying life.
A small community means you got to have good manners. And manners are the glue of society, I feel. And that's what I'm watching the mainland lose, right? They lost manners towards each other. Now they're divided. Families are divided just based off of how you feel about politics. Really? Yeah, crush your whole family relationship over that?
Well, we'll see what happens with Bill 9 and if that keeps us together, throws a big rift in it. But thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you on Wednesday's episode for Maui Hot List Hulahan.
Ahui ho.